Welcome back, everyone. We're here today with our Total Wellness Tuesday episode of the week. I'll be linking up all of the 3 big takeaways from today's show, basically a little show summary, plus any research-based links you may be looking for today over at stephencabral.com/2440. stephencabral.com/2440. And today we're going to be going over the 7 immune boosting organs in your body. I think that this is a really important show to have as part of your knowledge base, because there's a lot of people out there saying, hey, you need to boost your immune system. You need to do this. You need to do that. But you have to understand why. It's always important to understand the why, right? So people are talking about, oh, go on this diet to help this, right? Help X, Y, Z, help autoimmune, help skin rashes, help migraines, help mood. Okay, but you have to know the why, because you're going on this specific diet. Well, if it works, why does it work? I think that's so crucial for all of us to understand. Or if you're taking this supplement, why? Why does it work? And I think after today's show, you'll learn and you understand a bit more about that as to how the immune system works and why there are certain things that people are recommending that actually can make a huge difference. Like, why does sauna help? Let's go over that. Like, that's one thing that we'll actually look at today. Why would this certain nutrient help? Why would walking help? So let's go over some of these things. Let's go over those 7 organs right now. We're going to go straight into it. So what's the first organ of the immune system? Well, I like to look at it like this. Your body has a built-in mechanism that's the outside barrier of the body. Think about this. You are in the middle of a tropical storm. Okay, hopefully you're heading inside, right? You're heading inside because you have a roof, a window, and windows, an exterior of your home, a door, right? That keeps the outside and the inside safe and clean. That's the goal, right? Like, that is the goal, that you live in a safe space. It's the same with your body. What is your body's exterior walls? It's the skin, right? So the skin is the front line defense. Let's look at it this way. The eyes, a little bit, ears, a little bit, but really the nose and the mouth that are allowing outside things in. And we're going to talk about that in a moment. So we have our skin. What do we have on our skin? Believe it or not, we have our own living ecosystem on our skin as the first line of defense. So we have certain bacteria on our skin that are actually antimicrobial to other harmful pathogens. That's why it's so important that you don't use antibacterial soap in the shower all over your body, killing all of this healthy bacteria. Really important. Again, medical doctors, PCP, again, nothing against conventional medicine, but they will not share with you natural health-based tips. They will not share with you health care. They are trained in sick care. We need them. Very, very important. But you have to begin to look at health as something different than sick care, right? Very, very different things. Okay, so first line of defense, we keep our exterior skin healthy. We keep it a good level of moisture to it. That's important. And also the overall health of that skin, which actually comes from the inside out. I hope that you know that by now, that you're looking at what do we need? Well, we need the good nutrients in the body, a good whole food, clean diet, good nutrients that we'll take in. We'll talk about a little bit of that a little bit later. But another part of this is the mucus-based layer of our nose and our mouth going all the way through our digestive tract. Let's take a look at that. So I've got my buddy Walter here. Many of you have seen him over the past 7 years or so of the show. This right here, so we've got the mouth and nose. They're going to lead into essentially, well, we'll put this, the esophagus right here. The esophagus is going to come down to the stomach. That's about a foot. Then the stomach is going to lead to your small intestine. That's about 20 feet or so. Then the small intestine is going to lead to the large intestine. That's about 5 to 6 feet or so. And then that leads outside of your body into the anus, right? So if we look at that, all right, that whole tubular-based structure is somewhere around 26 feet or so for the average adult. That's also the outside of the body. And a lot of people don't look at it that way, but they're beginning to, which is really, really important. Why is that important? Because the outside of your body is still on the inside of your body. It is a tube that runs through the body that's only meant to allow the good things into your bloodstream, right? So the tube is technically on the inside, that's outside of your body. It's contained within, yes, but it's keeping everything from the inside of your body. And what happens? Well, if anything is there that shouldn't be, there is a mucosal layer in the ear, nose, throat, mouth, but really the mouth and nose we're going to talk about right now, the mucus, and then lining the digestive system. It's going to contain immunoglobulins. Those are white blood cells, immune cells that will actually go after viral particles, bacterial particles, parasites, etc., yeast, if it's there and it shouldn't be there. That's our first line of defense, right? So this is why keeping the digestive tract is so healthy. Because when you have leaky gut, when you have intestinal permeability, okay, now this entire digestive system is inflamed. People wondering why they're holding so much water weight or puffiness or bloating, etc. It's all inflamed, right? It's bloated, there's fermentation going on, but there's also now pathogens spilling through the intestines into your bloodstream. And now your whole body's inflamed. Now there's this systemic inflammation. What does that lead to then? Disease, right? Autoimmune disease and so much more. We know that now. The studies prove it. I've talked about that on other shows. I'm happy to link up the root cause of autoimmune issues if you go to stevencabral.com/2440. All right. So those are our external, okay, forces of the body, organs of the body that help. Now, the second, third, however you want to look at it, is going to be the lymphatic system. The lymphatic system, well, we'll put it this way. Most people know of the lymphatic system by looking at the lymph nodes. So the lymph nodes, probably best known, would be the tonsils, right? But the tonsils, you can actually look at them as three different specific types of tonsils, right? So we've got the we'll just put it this way. All the way from the nose down to the back of the mouth, you have three different types of tonsils. You've got the adenoids in there and then two essentially in the back of the mouth. Now, when we use these and they become inflamed, it is a giveaway that our body's fighting an infection. What conventional medicine likes to do is just cut them out. Right? So when I was around 10 years old, somewhere around 8 to 10 years old, I had my tonsils removed from the back of my mouth. And when they cauterized them, I now have a soft palate that basically dips down an extra 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch on the right side. It's a pain. I have to make sure that I keep my inflammation in check because that will become even more inflamed. Not good. This is what conventional medicine does. Hey, why don't we just cut it out, right? Let's just cut it out. Don't even need it. Well, of course you need it. It's the main line of defense for the nose and mouth when pathogens come into the body. We need those tonsils, right? Very, very important. We need the adenoids. I had my adenoids removed because they didn't get them fully when I was 8, 10 years old. At 21 years old, they went in and just, hey, took out the rest of those adenoids, right? And ended up breaking my nose for a second time during that because I had to be intubated, couldn't get the oxygen flowing. Not a good thing. I woke up completely swollen, which should have been, I guess, just an in and out day procedure, turned into something much more dramatic. But again, that's how it went. From 17 to 27 years old, I had so many different health issues. I was just looking to my doctor saying like, hey, just fix me, whatever I need, just, please let me know. I rely to them. And again, back then I wish I had done my homework a bit more, but it's really difficult to do your homework, even though I was trying when, again, you had to read books upon books upon books because there was no internet. So we're actually pretty fortunate right now to get different points of view on different health-based modalities. And that's why natural health is flourishing and conventional medicine is dipping and dipping and dipping. And we know that because, again, there is only a masking of symptoms with conventional medicine. Again, I believe in acute care. I believe in emergency care. I'm not saying that. But when you simply palliate symptoms with pharmaceuticals, I don't see how that is actually an answer. It's only an answer to mask symptoms. And maybe you need that for a short period of time, but what are you going to do for the rest of your life? That's the question I had to ask myself in my early 20s. Okay, I'm palliating symptoms now that I'm put on Cortef and Florinef and all these other drugs, Prilosec, but what does this mean? Is this what I'm doing for the rest of my life? And so I look up, like, what's the life expectancy of someone with Addison's? And it wasn't good. So I had to decide at some point, this is not for me, right? Not for me. And so again, I went on figuring out and finding out what is the foundation of health? What does that look like? How do I come up with a precision-based plan built for me? And these are all things that I learned, again, from many, many mentors. Okay, so we've got our skin, we've got the mucous membranes. We're also looking at the lymphatic system and those tonsils. So the lymphatic system, you've got lymph nodes behind the knees, they're in the groin, they're under the armpits, they're running all throughout your body. So you have your lymphatic tissue, the lymphatic fluid, and they get cleaned at the nodes. When the nodes get swollen, it means that the immune system is cleaning house. It is working on an active infection of some type. And again, what you want to do then is simply work with your immune system. When we say boost the immune system, we don't say like, oh, we're going to tell the immune system what we do. We're going to give the immune system a bit more of whatever it needs. That's it. Optimizing vitamin D, giving your body all the things that it gets depleted of when it gets run down. Zinc, vitamin C, glutamine, vitamin D. I mean, these things are all just natural things that the body uses. It doesn't tell the immune system to work any differently. It just helps the immune system do more of what it knows. And when you have more than double the amount of blood in your body, right? Double the amount, that's the lymphatic system. Lymph fluid is more than 2x, depending on how much you have in your body at the time, 2, 3, 4x the amount of blood in your body. Really important. But the interesting thing about your lymphatic system, it doesn't move if you don't move. That's the interesting thing. It is one of those manual pump-based organs, and it's one of the reasons why walking and heat, like sauna, are so important to get that lymphatic system moving, right? So exercise, walking, movement, yoga, stretching, heat, sauna, that'll get it going. So really, really important. That's why it's so great too when you're not feeling well. All right. I think the next one to go with, bone marrow, is an important one. So inside of your bones is marrow. We make our red blood cells there to a degree. We make white blood cells there to a degree. And so when we want to actively create more immune cells, our bone marrow is vitally important. Again, you need the right nutrients in order to be able to make those white blood cells, but this is what continues to give us our immune-based cells. I think from there, we should move towards the spleen. I don't believe, I'm not going to be able to show you the spleen on this particular model, but on the right side under your rib cage is your liver. Well, on the left side, around the same area, is your spleen. Your spleen is a very important organ that's almost never spoken about. So we've got the breakdown of red blood cells. Probably the last time you heard about your spleen is if you ever got mono. They're always like, be careful of your spleen. Be careful of getting hit in your spleen. Because the spleen gets inflamed, it gets swollen with all of the cleaning that's happening in the body, the breakdown, removal of red blood cells, but also it is a storage site for immune cells as well. One of the interesting things is that your immune system learns. So during the pandemic or any particular virus there may have been, your body says, oh, we've encountered this before, or we've encountered this maybe for the first time. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to create some cells, let's call them memory cells, so that if we ever encounter this virus, again, this infection, we're going to be able to ramp up production of these antibodies to destroy this antigen at a much faster rate. So the next time you encounter it, you may have no symptoms at all. And the reason is, sure, you encountered it, but the immune system destroyed it almost immediately. And your spleen allows for the storage of some of those memory-based cells. So really important, that spleen obviously does a tremendous job, not unlike the liver. It's just working in a different capacity, different organ for the body. Another one I want to share with you is for the thymus. The thymus, extremely important. We never talk about that as well. The thymus is located essentially right above the heart, and it's behind this solar plexus bone, breastbone, whatever you want to call it. And essentially, it is reaching its maturity in childhood. And what it does is it specializes in certain type of immune cells. These are called T cells. T cells, extremely important because what are they doing? They are marking certain cells or certain pathogens, I should say, to be removed from the body. Apoptosis, cellular destruction, cancer cells, and other pathogens are greatly affected by these T cells. And what this does is also, as a child, provides you with what's called an innate or adaptive immune system, meaning like you know what is foreign, meaning outside of the body, and what is innate or human itself, so that your body does not necessarily create too many inflammatory processes from natural occurrences in the body. I want to share with you just one more to kind of pull it all together, and that is the overall digestive system. You oftentimes don't even necessarily think about this as a immune booster, but believe it or not, the bacteria that are inside of the body actually help to regulate the immune system, so that secretory, let's say IgA. So IgA is kind of an immediate response to things, IgA and IgE. IgM would be a, let's call it that M, let's say intermediary or middle, so a somewhat delayed response, and then it can lead to an IgG response, so it's just a latent response in the body 24 to 72 hours later that we often do for food sensitivity testing that's so important. Well, the bacteria helps to keep a good, healthy ecosystem in the gut. It helps to regulate inflammatory processes for both the body and, believe it or not, the mind as well. And so keeping a good, healthy digestive system, a good, healthy gut, is oftentimes what we say is the starting point for getting well. It was honestly the starting point for me, and that's why I always go back to, there's so many things that could be wrong with the body. And when I say so many things, honestly, it's like, a dozen, 2 dozen things maximum. So it's not so many things, but I always tell people, if I can only start in one place, I'd have to say I need to start in 2. So I always tell that people, it's 2 places. It's working in the gut and it's working on stress. And I have many podcasts on that as well. But what I wanted to share with you today was simply looking at your immune system is not one thing. It's not one thing. It's looking at the body as an entirety. So this is why we do things like I talked about in the rain barrel effect, the de-stress protocol: diet, exercise, stress reduction, toxin removal, right? Rest and sleep, so important. Emotional balance, so we don't run ourselves down from our thoughts and anxiety. Then we have scientifically backed supplements, like, again, if we're just talking about the immune system, the ones I named earlier: vitamin C, zinc, your B vitamins, your vitamin D3. You can't go without those. And then, of course, when you do get sick, you can look into your herbs: elderberry, echinacea, so many others. Again, I'm not going to go through those today. So important that you have a foundation, your omega-3s, your daily activated multi, your daily nutritional support, those types of things important. And then also mindset. Again, mindset is so important. That's part of that de-stress protocol. All of these things are in the book, The Rain Barrel Effect. Again, you can get that book now completely free at stephencabral.com. But today was about treating the body holistically as one whole organ, and looking at it through not having to do a whole lot of things in life, but doing each one of those things, each one of those 8 things, to a better degree. If you can't do big workouts right now, that's okay. Can you walk? If you can't walk, can you do sauna? So it's these things to start to boost the immune system. Now, in a healthy way, keep it balanced so that when you really do need it, when you encounter an infection, as we move into cold and flu season, that your body's able to do what it innately knows how to do. Remember, no doctor, no practitioner out there is there to heal your body. They're there to help you put your body in position to heal. Thanks so much for tuning into the Cabral Concept. I appreciate you. I'm going to link up a research article on these 7 organs at stephencabral.com/2440 if you want to check it out. Take care.